What's going on, family? This is episode 33 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. What's Good himself, Israel.
What's good?
And you know we got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building.
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? We here on another Monday. It's January 6th. I got on my Scully. I got on my long sleeves. I got on a turtleneck. I'm trying to be warm up in these streets, man. It's January. It's cold. What's going on with the weather? They got Elsa playing Do You Want to Be a Snowman? They got Frozen going on. Frozen 3, the movie 3. So Frozen 4.
Something like that. It seemed like it's between Frozen and they got what? Snow up in the Midwest, and we got rain down here.
It's
Yeah,
ice
great.
like everywhere. Like it's ice. It's cold. It's freezing.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad. You know, with the rain, I thought it was gonna ice up because it was cold, but it wasn't cold enough for the rain to ice up. But man, how y'all weekends been?
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Kimberly? What's going on?
What's
Hey,
going on?
my weekend been great. Shout out to all of the subscribers that was waiting on us and patiently waiting. We thank you all so much. But yeah, it's cold. So we was trying to get home. Everybody was just trying to get to where they had to get safely. So we appreciate you all. You know, it's kind of crazy out here. Out here in Chicago, it's a mess. But you know, we here. It was a great week. You know, we in the new year, as they say. Well, I say they new year, but you know how that is. But at the end of the day, I'm excited. Again, like we had said last week, we reached 100 subscribers, and I'm still filming off of that. So it was a great week for me. Just excited to be back here to do another podcast.
Well, for me, I've been held hostage, y'all. I'm supposed to be at home in the regular background. Y'all ain't seen the regular background in a while. I've been held hostage. No, I'm just playing. I've been having a good time up here in Chicago, especially with the church fan. We had like a prosperity blessing yesterday at Faith Temple. So shout out to all of the men of Faith Temple that have been working diligently and fasting and praying to make this thing happen. So, that's what I've been a part of. Of course, I got to continue to shout out the church, shout out the nation. This is what this podcast is about. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we have our voices heard. And yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to. My whole week has been filled with Coptic stuff. Really?
That's what's up.
What
Busy
about
on
you,
the
Israel?
move,
Yeah.
man. It be blurring in. I ain't even lie, it be blurring in. But I've been mostly working home. Friday, it was actually good because I got off work. I got in early. I don't know if I was just early or everybody was late or some people ain't show up. And then I got off early. I was back at home by like 1 in the afternoon before 2 o'clock. I was like 1:45 at home. And then I was just in the crib watching TV. Made some pizza Friday night, chilling. And then Saturday got up to go to work. And then Saturday afternoon, I was chilling again in the crib. Sunday, watched and chill with some of my biker people, and then got back to it today. So it's just been work, no play for real, and that's it. It's boring on my end, nothing but peace, working home, adulting. What did you say? I would not
Oh, this
recommend.
time.
You see that?
This time,
Yeah.
yeah, this time it's been working home. Normally, you be outside with your biker buddies, traveling the country.
Look, you gotta. It's the winter time. You gotta retreat. You gotta be chill for a minute. You gotta lay low. So I see them at the meetings and stuff. But right now it's stacked. I'm stacking and grinding, making some big moves.
Hey, I know y'all be cold though on that bike, doing with all that cold air, especially right now. Like I said, the weather report got everything cold everywhere. So
Look, you can ride all year as long as you got the gear, man. I got heated gloves, right? I got heated gloves. I got some thermals, and then they got different type of jackets. Some of the guys they got a vest, heated vest and stuff. So you just gotta invest in that type of stuff if you're gonna keep riding, while it's cold outside. But
hey, hey, we gonna have to do a Pharaohs podcast rap album because Israel keep on with these bars. Every episode he got something that he rhyming.
man, that's how it be. But on that, and then I've been looking and searching for another bike, another motorcycle, and between motorcycle and car. So yeah, making the plans.
Okay. Well, fellas, you know who needs to make a plan? These NFL teams, because we're finally here at the playoffs. All right. Fellas, all of our teams that we picked did not make it. Okay, we had our eyes on the Patriots because of trying to get the spread and get our money up. They didn't make the playoffs. I like the Chicago Bears from time to time just because that's where I'm from. They didn't make the playoffs. And Israel, you was holding on to the Atlanta Falcons, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, they just tanked. Horrible.
Yeah. So who we do have, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and just show this little bit, this bracket of who is actually in the playoffs. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys can kind of see this very well, but so next week, the playoffs start. We have the wild card teams. We have the Packers on the NFC side, Packers and Eagles. You have the Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you also have the Vikings versus the LA Chargers. And last night, the Packers and the Lions played for the number 1 seed. The Lions whooped them. And so they have a first week bye. So whoever wins the Packers versus the Eagles game is going to see the Lions next week. And on the AFC side, we have the Broncos versus the Bills. You have the Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens, and you also have the Chargers versus the Texans. I'm sorry, I said LA Chargers on with the Vikings. I'm sorry, them the Rams. See all these LA teams, but anyway,
they got it.
The Kansas City Chiefs have their first week bye, so they don't play next week. So whoever wins the Denver Broncos versus the Buffalo Bills game will see Kansas City the week after next. So fellas, looking at this bracket, what we thinking? Who we thinking moving on? Who we thinking going to the Super Bowl?
All right, so I guess I'll get this one started. What's up, family? What's up? Let's get into it. So, like Solomon said, all of our picks was off. Now, I made a great amount of money off of the Patriots. I appreciate them because they were the fade. They became the fade, so they did their job very well. Now that we in Super Bowl time, let's talk about who going home with the title, in my opinion. I like the game that the Lions played last night. I looked at the highlights. I think they're coming in there strong. Now, of course, we know the Kansas City Chiefs. You don't want to take them as anything to be a joke. Right now, though, I'm feeling the Lions. I'm feeling the Lions to really go home with this Super Bowl championship right now because I always look at the first few games usually tell the biggest story. You know, we're going to have, as they get the kinks out, as they say, you're going to have your kinks getting in, and then you have the finale. But I like the spirit that they got right now. I like the way that they're executing. So I'm feeling the Lions, fellas. I'm feeling the Lions to take this one all the way. Now, I can't talk and not put my money where my mouth is. So once I really feel the Lions, I'm gonna let you all know. It's probably gonna be anywhere between now and next week where I lay some money down on them to really take this thing home right now. And by then, I'll have the numbers for what the spread is looking like because they're not really even going to get the numbers all the way well into the mid part of the playoffs. Like it's not, you don't really know what to expect, but it's better to get the bet in now because it's such a wild card. There's a better chance, and then you're actually able to make more money. So I'm going with the Lions. How you feeling, Israel? What you feeling about this? What you feel about the playoffs? Who you think gonna take it home, brother?
Man, I'm gonna be real honest. I haven't been paying attention, but I'm gonna do a guesstimation. It's gonna end up being between the Patriots and the Lions. I would bet on the Patriots, but
The
yeah,
Patriots, they
yeah,
not in the
yeah.
playoffs.
What? Who did you say? What a thing at again? What a
The Kansas City Chiefs. I'll show it one more time.
yeah. I mean, we said the Chiefs, but what'd you say? Hold up.
No, I was saying that the Patriots did their job as far as being the fade. When I meant the
Losing.
fade, yeah, they the fade. They out of it though.
See, that's how far I've been out the loop of it. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. But with the way between the way if I could, I'm gonna have to set up a bracket like set. I should have had that earlier because I would have did a whole guesstimation. But I would say I don't think Green Bay gonna make it past the Lions. Not with the way that they lost against the Bears the other day.
I don't
But
think you're so. I don't think so either, brother.
nah, they ain't passing that. So if we could take it bracket by bracket, we could go from there, and then we could see and formulate from that. But I need
Well,
to
like I
see
say,
the
this is only
bracket.
the
Yeah,
first round. It's only the first round, Israel. We only got a certain amount of teams that's actually going to be playing. So, um, I, I'm going to have my guesstimation as well. I believe that it's going to be for the NFC. It's probably going to be the Rams versus the Lions, right? And then the Lions going to come from the NFC. And then I believe because this first round matchup of the Steelers versus Baltimore, oh my goodness. I don't know what time that game going to play, but I want to watch that. That is going to be an excellent playoff game. So I definitely want to see the Baltimore Ravens versus um, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm excited to see that first round matchup. I really didn't want it to be in the first round. I really want that to be a second round matchup. But the Steelers blew a game this week against, I believe, the Bengals. They should have won that game. So now they have to go to the 6th seed. And if they would have had the 5th seed, I believe they would have had an easier time or easier road to get to the Super Bowl. But I believe that Baltimore is going to beat the Steelers, and it's going to be in the AFC title game will be Baltimore versus the Chiefs. And I'm going to go out on a limb right here on the Pharaohs Podcast, and I'm going to say it's going to be Baltimore beating the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are not going to three-peat on the Super Bowl. And it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. That's my bold prediction of the playoffs.
I mean, I'm with you with the Lions. It's
Okay.
just I just do not see Baltimore beating the Steelers. And the only reason I say that is because it's a comeback.
What?
It's a comeback spot. Comeback
Oh,
spot.
no. You
No,
tripping.
hold on. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. See, if it was that easy, if it was that easy, that's why I can't wait till the spread come out. We gonna see. The spread should be out soon. when you deal with comeback spots, meaning when you're dealing with a team that just lost a game that they should have won, mathematically, they usually win the next game. This is a morale game. It's not a real game. It's morale. The real game ain't gonna be into maybe the next few, closer to when it's actually time to decide. That's why I don't feel like the Baltimore Ravens are gonna win. Not because they're not the better team. They are definitely the better team. But right now
It's
we're
the
not talking.
first round of the playoffs, Luke. They gotta win the
It's the
game.
first of the playoffs, which is a morale game. This is not regular season. And if you're telling me a team is coming back off of a loss
Yes.
in the playoffs,
Yes.
I
This is
might,
the
I might
first
have
week
to,
of the playoffs.
I might have to put the money on the underdog because the underdog probably will be the Steelers. No doubt
The
about
I
it.
think the
underdogs
underdog is definitely
always
the
win.
Steelers.
They
I
always
I
win.
believe.
think, yeah, that's what Israel just said. That's what I'm
The
saying.
underdogs
So,
always win.
I don't know, Solomon. I don't know though.
No. I believe that. Okay, so you telling me that's just like saying in the NBA. That's just like saying in the NBA, all of the NBA teams that's the eighth seed or the sixth seed and lower are supposed to beat all of the teams that's
No,
the four seed and higher.
it's a
Because
known
you like an
unknown.
underdog story. This ain't March
Yes.
Madness.
No,
This
it
is the
happens all the
NFL
time.
playoffs.
It happens all the time. You get upsets. In sports, you get upsets. And it's the underdog that does the upset. Because he getting the chance to show the big dog that he can still come in and do what he need to do. And he upset everybody. The underdogs always win. 9 times out of 10.
Hey, how you doing,
Hey, Kalandra, how you doing?
Kalandra?
Kalandra Hawkins. If you one of our subscribers, hey, welcome.
Welcome to the conversation. Luke and Israel up here tripping.
No, we not. Hey, Solomon usually the one that's on the other side. Family, we gonna see. To all the people excited about it, definitely take some time. Everybody be talking about family. Get some family around. We gonna enjoy this. It's a new year. You hear me? It's a new year. So we about to get ready to get started. But I don't know, Solomon. That seemed like a perfect spot for a comeback story. And comeback stories sell seats. I just feel it. I feel this one. I feel the underdog might come through on this one. But we gonna see,
Yeah,
family. We
I
gonna see.
can't wait. Yo, now y'all just really hyping me up for more for this game because I done already got hyped for this game, but y'all hyping me up more now. I can't wait to see this now because y'all want to do a friendly bet on the podcast, bro. I think that um the Baltimore Ravens will beat the Steelers. That's my prediction.
All right. Well,
What's
I'm
going
gonna
on, friends? How
take
you
off.
feeling?
Supposed to be somewhere. What's good?
What's
What's
good?
good?
What's good, bro?
How y'all feeling, man? Talk to us, y'all. Talk to us. Y'all coming in on one of the topics of today, and that is the NFL playoffs. Of course, is starting this coming weekend. And right now I'm having a debate. It's me versus them right now, y'all. They keep telling me that the underdog Pittsburgh Steelers is gonna beat the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson and King Henry. Okay, the running back that has broken 2,000-yard records. Y'all understand who this man is? The running back that they got on the Baltimore Ravens. How they gonna stop him?
It's the NFL. Anything can happen.
All right, let's get
I
to
just
it.
gotta play. I just want to see. I want to go with the underdogs because you're right. They definitely do. The Ravens and the Lions is the perfect picture. That is the perfect NFL picture of a playoff this year, and which is why I'm saying they may make us mad. They make us debate about something. When do they
This is
not make
great.
us?
I
Yeah.
This is great to me. I don't care. This is great to me.
All right.
This
So
is
we know
great to me. I just
that's our NFL playoff hype for the podcast. For all our NFL lovers, for all our football fans, get your chips, get your family.
Yeah, let's
Let's
talk about what really matters here. Enough for the NFL, okay?
okay.
We
Let's
gonna
talk
talk
about it.
about Derrick Rose Day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is it? Dubbed as January 4th by what was that? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Dubbed January 4th as Derrick Rose Day. it's a good day to be a Bulls fan, especially the other day.
Derrick Rose
Oh, you
Day.
got the video? You gonna show the video? What's that?
Derrick Rose Day. 1/4/25. I don't have the video because it was like a long segment of them talking.
I'm gonna get this out the way then. Derrick
My
Rose,
bad, my bad.
right? This might be the most unpopularist opinion right here. Let me paraphrase here. Let me go back and look at the status I shared. So one of my bosses I used to work for him. We're friends on Facebook, and he was like, Derrick Rose, D Rose, the greatest what if in NBA history. Okay, like what if he never got hurt? He could have been greater than what he was. He was great, right? But still, he could have been greater than what he did. But that's all I'm gonna say. It's a great day to be a Bulls fan, and especially D Rose coming from the South Side. It's like a come up story. You know, it's like an underdog story. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I would have thought because he graduated from my high school, Simeon High School. You feel what I'm saying? He came out. You know, he did his thing. A kid from Inglewood. Now let me. Oh, this going into my little thing right now, y'all. My little rant.
Yeah.
All right. When you believe in yourself, family. When y'all believe in yourself and y'all put some work and dedication to it, right? Prayer plus preparation. Okay. When y'all put those things together, y'all can get manifestation. Ooh, I don't know if I'm cooking with something right now. But if you put your prayer life, position yourself with your preparation, it will equal your manifestation. And he was on a strict plan from his family and his mother his junior year from high school on up. They limit his friends, the people he was around. They limited all of his other extracurricular activities for him to focus on his goal of basketball.
They knew he was
and he became very successful. A little kid on the south side of Chicago from Inglewood, went to Simeon High School, then went to college for 1 year and went straight to the pros. I don't know if y'all seen one of these interviews where he was saying that he just felt so confident that he asked God to like make him humble, because he just felt like he was the best at basketball. And it showed when he got on the court. His first year in the league, they went to the first round playoffs. They got eliminated by the Celtics, but that was when they had Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. Wasn't nobody really beating them at that time. So the first year they went to the playoffs, and he made a great first impression through that whole rookie year run. Won Rookie of the Year. Remember, he's the youngest MVP of all time. And Chicago and the Bulls organization is continuously celebrating him. And I believe that because now they're going to retire his jersey, the Bulls organization now retiring his jersey next year. They're retiring his jersey. He said nobody can wear the number 1 unless it's his son, PJ Rose. I believe if he get that jersey, once he get that jersey retired, he's a strong candidate to go to the Hall of Fame. I think he'll be the first person without an NBA championship and all of the other accolades that people are looking for. I think that he'll get that Hall of Fame.
And why is that?
Because they retiring his jersey, and then Chicago just made a whole day for him. Every January 4th. Every January 4th.
The key to the city, though?
I think they're going to give him the key to the city. Why not? You giving him his own day. A key to the city could be just less than that.
Right, right. I'm just saying they gave Durkio the key to the city. They let him use it for a little
Why are
bit.
we doing this right now? Why are we doing this right now, Israel?
Man,
Why are we doing Dirk like this? Why are we doing this right now?
I ain't saying nothing. Man, I've been waiting for his album to come out since November, but it's supposed to come out this month. But anyways, we ain't gonna make this about him. But yeah,
Yo,
it's
what
good.
is this?
I like to see my people win, right? Anybody from Chicago, like I tell people down here in A, they're like, "Oh, you a Bears fan?" I'm like, "I'm a Chicago fan." Okay, anything Chicago, I'm a fan of, because that's where I'm from. You know, the Sox, the Cubs, the Blackhawks, the Bulls. I done seen all of them play except for the Blackhawks, but still, I'm a fan of Chicago. You from Chicago? You who I'm rooting for, because I know, especially if you grew up in Chicago, you grew up in the city, you walked the streets, you've been where I've been, or I've been where you've been. I know the struggle of what you've been through, or some of what you've been through by secondhand, firsthand, whatever. The city. I'm from the city. I'm for the city. I'm for Chicago. That's all that matters. But it's good to see people like that, where it's like, you know where they come from, you know where they been, and it's like, if they could do it, I could do it too. Not saying that they just not belittling that person, but it's like, yo, greatness is in my city, you know. But that's how I feel on that. I can't hear you. Your mic muted.
Yeah, we definitely can't hear you, bro. Um, I mean, I agree with you, Israel. You know, he like I say, he one of the greatest just off the strength that he came out of Simeon, which a high school I came from. So I consider myself pretty great. So we all pretty great. You feel what I'm saying? You got Luke
Yeah.
name in the title talking about Luke the Great.
Luke the Great. I just seen it. Was y'all at high school the same time?
When he was going out, I was
Okay. Because he a couple
when
years.
he went.
Mhm.
Stop what? What you talking about? Andre, what you talking about? Stop what? Um,
So when he was a senior, he was a freshman.
oh no, we got a Simeon hater in the building, family.
Look, I'm gonna say this. Simeon wasn't good in wrestling, but hey, basketball a different story.
In football too.
What, they wasn't good in football?
No, we were great in football. Don't do that. I
Oh,
played football for
okay.
Simeon. Don't do that.
Okay. You said football too. I just said they weren't that good in wrestling. But yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Whoa, who just called me? Oh, my bad. Luke, you got your mic fixed? Oh no, we still can't hear you.
Might have to exit and come back in.
Yeah, might have to exit and come back in.
But
All right.
and then D Rose, he just made I guess a rose shop called Rose somewhere in the city where he's selling roses.
Roses, yep.
Yeah, that's some sexy stuff right there.
You said roaches. You mean roses?
Roses. I want to know what makes his roses different. Like, he just got a rose shop. Like, flowers ain't always in
Cause
style.
I think just because his last name Rose, bro.
Yeah. So
So he
I
said,
don't know.
he's a businessman now. And so I'm happy about that. He's transitioning. Like I say, he's also a great motivational speaker.
Yeah.
So we're going to celebrate Derrick Rose. I know people like, oh, why are you guys talking about Derrick Rose? He's been injured most of his career. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what people
Because he
say.
wasn't.
No, look, I wasn't gonna
Because
bring
he
it up.
wasn't.
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Nah, bro, he wasn't injured most of his career, bro. He was injured like 2 years out of the 6 8 that he was on the Bulls. That's sexy selling roses.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I
I said that's some
mean,
sexy stuff. I mean, hey, but I'm interested in figuring out his plan and stuff. Like how long? Because if you just selling roses, like how long you gonna be in business
hey,
for? You know,
hold
you
on,
got.
real quick, hold on before you get started again. Hold on, Luke, is you good? Your boy.
Yeah, y'all can hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Hey,
Okay.
Kalanja, you up here flirting with Israel on the
I don't
live
know
on the
who that is.
podcast? Let me know.
I don't know who that is. That'll be the back talk, backstage talk. Anyways, what was you saying? What was you saying now, Luke the Great? What was you saying about D Rose?
Nah, I'm crying. I'm crying. Y'all funny. Um, yeah, my bad on the mic thing. It's always somebody calling. But I could sworn I put my phone on do not disturb. But nevertheless, I do talk to my riders about that a lot. When I'm out driving, Derrick Rose, he is an example, and we always talk about it, but it's always so many negative connotations. I like when there are positive things. It's just people got to talk about it more. Now, in the market, in the stream of things, he changed his family's generation. That alone, I mean, you ain't trying to prove nothing to the world to be real. He changed his whole legacy from, yeah, like that's powerful enough. Because when you're born in this world, all you ever really trying to do as a young man, especially a young black man in Chicago, all you trying to do is survive. But I think it's a great example because it's a level of focus that we can pass on to a lot of the other young black men here. It's a focus game. It's a thing to where they're trying to distract us every day. And like Solomon was saying, his family was adamant. It was a team game. They were adamant on making sure that he stayed focused. So I think he definitely deserves that. I think he deserves a day. I think the city of Chicago needs light in in that type of way to show that there's a way to get money and you don't got to look over your shoulder. If anything, you can be honored. To me, it's better to be honored than to look over your shoulder. But to each
Right.
is their own. But I definitely am grateful he got a day that we can kind of say, I something to be remembered, and hopefully there to be more, young men. Even if it ain't just basketball, it's about greatness. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not how he did it, bro. No, it could have been basketball, football, whatever. It's about being great, and staying focused in whatever you're doing and
So hence the
understanding that.
name.
Yeah, because it's a competitive game, and a lot of times, as young black men, I hear it when they say, we do need love, yes, but we also need an understanding on a competitive platform. That's why martial arts and things like that was so boxing. All of these things are a necessity for young black men. It's not a if I should put my son in it. You have to put your son in it because he has to learn how to manage his emotions and also learn how to physically train to be competitive into a world that he's in. So these things like sports, athletic, like I say, boxing. If you see these, you have to get your young man into it because what he's gonna do is learn how to manage it. And you know what that does? That brings better clarity in the mind. A lot of young men are just anxious because they ain't never really fought. They ain't never been hit in the face. So they see somebody swinging, it's reactionary. Basketball treats you the same way. He had to learn how to train his body, stay focused, be a competitor.
Discipline.
And then what that does is that creates great young men and a great value in the world. So that's just always been my spiel when I want to go into the deepness of what it is. It's more than basketball. It's about black greatness. And no matter
Yeah.
really who you are, you gonna lift up who you lift up. The Brazilians lift up the Brazilians. The Africans lift up the Africans. We over here with him. So we understand what it's like to be distracted in America as a young black man and to not fall into that and to stay focused and grind and then to get the glory that he ain't just did that for us. He did that for the generation.
Yeah,
You know, so
because it could easily go left. It could easily go left.
one
You go
one wrong
from
decision. How many black celebrities have taught us one wrong decision
man,
can
a lot
change
of them.
your whole
Right.
I mean, we the most ruthless ones out of everybody. You mess
Yeah.
up with us, it's over. Black people coming at you harder than ever before.
Right. You
So to
seen
be
how they
able to
did
stop,
Cuzzo? You seen how they did Cuzzo? He out there getting keys of the city, and then they taking it back because he allegedly making hits and stuff. But
you see how they going to black billionaires. Look at the black
yeah,
billionaires.
billionaires. There we
You
go.
can have
Billionaires.
$1 billion and they coming for you. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It's
Look
why
at
righteousness will always prevail. I don't care what nobody say.
all the
You can get all
time.
the money in the world, but if you ain't getting it the right way, it's gonna catch up on you on some way.
Yeah.
You know, our great grandfathers taught us that. That's why they weren't dealing with the mob no more. They said, I got to get out of this. I can't keep doing this because how am I gonna get glory out of dirty money? Like, come on, let's talk about it for real. So
Mm.
that's why I say everybody thinking, oh yeah, he got a date. No, 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 no. He's a black millionaire, and he ain't have to hurt nobody. He entertained people.
Yeah.
And let's be
Yeah.
real, he ain't even have to embarrass himself as an entertainer. He ain't out
And I
there in
like
no
that.
skirt. He ain't out there running around in no skirt. You feel me? Like he a man. He showing athleticism. Y'all don't get me started. Boy, y'all get me excited. Yeah, I'm done though. I'm done. That's
Look,
my spiel. My
back to
mic got cut.
Chicago's greatness. You got great black men. We're gonna talk about the great black men at the forefront here.
Yeah.
You got D Rose with his day, right? Great positive. Then you got Durkio decides his offset. Then you got Chance the Rapper, doing his good stuff. Then you got Kanye, going a little bit to the left side, but they all from Chicago. All them great black men. It's good to see black men at the forefront, but you ain't heard too many bad things about Chance, and not too many about D Rose either. But they trying to
Hey.
find dirt, but
Yeah.
just sweep it
Yeah.
under
And
the
we
rug.
and,
You don't even.
and they still human. So but
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, it's like we gonna keep making black babies gonna keep coming. I'm a prophet. I'm gonna speak that. They ain't gonna take
Amen.
us out. But I
But they
always think
definitely tried to say
they
some
trying.
negative stuff.
Yeah, they are. That's why I was just gonna say they trying. This why
They
over
trying to
here
what?
we gonna lift ours up over here. If he wrong, we gonna chastise him and we gonna clean him up. Get yourself together, my brother. Cause that we all fall short. But I think he deserved it. Day. I mean that ain't to me no kind of debate. Cause you think about all the young men that graduated from high school because they thinking, oh man, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. They said I'm slow. But man, I'm trying to do something like he did something, bro. Like Solomon was saying, Solomon from the same high school. That carries on with you when you working on stuff. There's a legacy, there's
Yeah.
a greatness. And to me, people from Chicago are built different. There is a certain level of focus. When it comes to people from
Absolutely.
here, I put it up to a lot of other people in the country because it's different. I think the hunger is so real. It's not a game when they trying to get it out. When they trying to get out. You go ahead, go ahead. I ain't gonna stay on it because I love that. I'm just happy for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, they do be trying though. They be trying it, like how they be talking about some of the stuff that they wanted to come out with when he first came into the league, about his ACT scores, and somebody took the ACT for him.
And that don't even
I don't want to hear
matter.
that.
Don't nobody care about them
Yeah,
scores. Them scores don't
yeah,
matter. They for
yeah.
test rats. If you know what you're
They
gonna
like
do,
they
as long
like
as you go to
oh
school,
they
do your job. Them scores don't
yeah
matter. They don't.
they was saying like, oh, that he shouldn't have been eligible to go to that college because somebody else took the ACT for him and got the better score. We no. How you first of all, when this story came out, he was already in the NBA. So what is it gonna do? That's gonna is it tainting his college career or something? Don't matter because he's an NBA player now making millions of dollars. So what are you bringing up an old story for if it's even true? Like they're like going back to what you said, Luke. The media really be trying to destroy a black man's image once he hit a certain level of success. Once he hit a certain level of success, then that's when you have all of these other weird stories that's going on talking about, oh, remember when he did this? Remember when he did that? No, nobody remembers that because nobody's up here trying to dig up dirt on somebody because they became successful. To me, that's just hating. You a hater at this point.
Big hater.
You hating. And
I agree with you, Solomon. I agree. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that to me that was that show, and we in media now over here at Pharaohs Podcast. You know, we don't look at our subscribers as people who we have to conjure up false things and unnecessary things in order to get views. But we understand now that we're in media. We understand the game a little bit more. It sells, and you get viewers when you try to destroy a black man. You actually get more viewers than when they try to destroy a white man. So that lets you know, okay, there's a market. There's been a market behind it, but we didn't know. We really didn't know. I mean, come on, social media is new. Now we see what the real game is. That's why when we used to always be like, why do they always promote so much bad stuff about us and not good stuff? Because they actually make more money from doing it. That's just what it is. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It just is what it is. So we trying to combat that because at the end of the day, it's a lot of us out here doing well. And there are always going to be bad apples. There are always going to be people who ain't doing what they supposed to. We going to call them out. And then we still going to talk about the ones doing what they supposed to. So they tried to pull that on D Rose. Like, oh, look at that, trying to discredit him for a system that they created in order to get into an institution that they say is supposed to be for everybody, even though he a citizen. You see what I'm saying? Well, come on now. We know the game. We know the game when we were sitting there at that table, sitting there scribbling A, B, and C just to see how well you like me. Come on now. Come on now. But when you talk to a lot of us, they got their plumber's license, they got their CDLs, and they ain't have to scribble that in. No, they went directly to the information in order to take care of their family. So y'all not gonna pull that over our heads no more. Like, oh, cause he ain't a college. What? We respect him, but what they got to do with the NBA? He bringing in millions for y'all, and he entertaining people. Come on now. That was some journalist probably trying to dig up something to get a few views and to make themselves relevant. That's how I
facts.
feel.
Facts. All right, fellas. You know, we talking about relevancy and we talking about discrediting things and things that's going on, right? And we got this one situation that just happened to bring in the first of the year, the Gregorian calendar year, and that was what now they are calling a terrorist attack that happened in New Orleans on New Year's Eve. So, fellas, let's just take a quick little video. Look at this video of what supposedly happened. And I'm always say oppose it and allege it because we're in media now. We can't just say it actually did until we see some of this video. But let's just look at this video real quick of what happened in New Orleans for all right, fellas. So in that video, and I know it's probably hard for some people to watch. I should have put a disclaimer before. But in that video, you can see the white truck pulling into the crowd. He made look like a sharp right turn, plowed into a few people in the crowd in New Orleans. And then he got out It didn't show him get out, but you can hear he got out and started shooting at the police officers. He killed 2 officers. Um,
I ain't know that. I ain't hear that
yeah,
part.
after he pulled into the people and ran some people over in the crowd with his truck, he got out the truck and started firing at the some of the civilians and the police officers, and he ended up killing 2 police officers.
So
Fellas,
was he like what do they call it, a terrorist attack? Was he like a insurgent or somebody from what you call it? Was he
supposedly they
a
went
foreigner?
and found out huh?
I said, was he a foreigner or something?
I I don't know what
Because
he
when I
supposedly
think of
is.
terrorist attacks, I think of like, you got bombs and you got people from other countries coming over here blowing stuff up, like 9/11. But this was I mean, at this point, this dude is doing inhumane acts to society. You got manslaughter, and then you got out here what you call it? It ain't. Would it be homicide? Homicide inside or something like that.
I'm gonna try to pronounce his
Something.
name. Sham Suddin Jabbar
Yep, he
is
sounds
his
like he's
name.
a foreigner. Definitely sounds definitely sounds like he's not from here. Yeah, okay.
Shamsuddin Jabbar. Supposedly, he stayed at a rental home in New Orleans beginning on October 30th and wore smart glasses to record video while he bicycled through the French Quarter of New Orleans. This is coming from Special Agent FBI New Orleans Special Agent Lionel, who's in charge of the investigation of what's going on. So supposedly Jabbar also had ISIS training. They keep talking about this is why they calling it a terrorist attack. They saying that he got training from other the people who did the terrorist attack from 9/11, and they're trying to compare it. And I don't know if y'all seen those show notes I had text the group chat about how now everything is 9/11, so they're comparing it, right? So they're comparing the Twin Towers terrorist attack from September 11, which is 9/11 because it's the 9th month, and then now this is the 9th year, and then they did it on January 1st. So now it's 9/11 again.
Uh, I don't know that, but I wouldn't compare it the same thing. You ain't have twice as many people die. Like you probably with this one. I mean, a terrorist attack is a terrorist attack, but it's like you can't compare them because it's like hundreds of people dying, and you got buildings that'll never be built again. You got people dying like by the hundreds, and it was a whole catastrophe. You got blocks of the city of New York, one of the busiest cities in the world, in the U.S. And then this happens. That's probably literally down the street. I'm not taking nothing away, but it wasn't. I don't think it should be compared. It could be a terrorist attack, but not as monumental. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
What you got to say about that, Luke? And then they talking about the French Quarter and the 25 quarter this year. They got all types of stuff going on. We've talked about some of the conspiracy theories and stuff. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's break this down real quick. I won't be long with it. With this one. So yeah, I understand where they're coming from as a terrorist attack, but we also got to understand MK Ultra is something that is real. And not only is it real, it's something that's been studied and it has been manipulated throughout the country. So it's not just the one government able to do it. So there's a lot of factors that to me this case looks like it's some stuff going on. I agree with Israel though. The casualties are not as high. Doesn't take it away. One life alone is too many. But we have to be mindful when we see stuff like this and how we react. And over here we try to be logical because the media is going to always push a narrative, push a narrative, push a narrative. But what makes our podcast and other podcasts different is that instead of trying to push a narrative, we're here to analyze and make sound decisions. So then we know how to properly react to what we see. I don't like the way they pushing it so fast to be something like that. This is indeed a state issue, but there is a government side of it because there is evidence that allegedly he was dealing with ISIS, which we know is a whole nother conversation. But if we look at what's been going on, we have an election that's over with. Okay, now we've been dealing with issues with Iran, and we've been dealing with issues in the Middle East. Period. So it would make sense, but we got to be logical in situations like this. People, keep your head on straight. Don't just get run into what they want you to feel, because what fear brings is control. And we know we dealing in a situation to where there are people that are unhappy. So to control us in any kind of way, they will find. So we got to make sound decisions. Were the people wrong for being out enjoying that night? Absolutely not. That's why I'm like, this was just, yo, nah, he bogus in all kind of ways, because these people were out minding their business, enjoying their New Year, celebrating on the street. This was a busy street in New Orleans that's always having events. So this was a deliberate attack to send some kind of message, which is why, like I say, this is why I feel they are categorizing it as a terrorist attack, because in a way it lines up with the way certain terrorist attacks are actually carried out. There's usually a suicide mission, especially when you're dealing with the radical side of the Middle East, and the way that they send messages is usually in a radical form that doesn't require you to get any story, because the person who committed the crime did it in such a radical way that even they would be eliminated. And they usually do the elimination with some kind of feeling of that it was honorable. So that to me is what this looks like. Something is definitely stirring up. I would tell the people, keep your mind open, especially this year. Keep your mind and your eye open, because there are going to be a lot of things thrown in our face to kind of get us distracted. This is a year of shiny stuff. A lot of shiny stuff is coming, but everything that glitter ain't gold. So that's my feeling on it.
Yeah, and then I got something to say about that before with the conspiracies. It's crazy how you got all this crazy stuff happening in January. Like I think that one year when the white people stormed the Capitol, that was like January. What was it
That was
today?
January.
January 6th?
Yeah.
How many years ago?
What was that? 4 years ago.
Yeah, crazy. And then also, so you got Supreme Empress Sierra was talking about that the Vegas incident on the same day. So with that, oh yeah, it was a we should have also talked about there was a Tesla that ended up blowing up on in the Trump Tower over there. And to your question, I think that day, of course, you want to do anything, I guess, into the new year where everything's banging already, fireworks, gunshots. Why not do it on the first when everybody's doing that? The first or the fourth? The first of the year or the 4th of July? We're not encouraging any of those events, but still, it will make all the most soundest decision, because who's going to think twice about gunshots on the first or the fourth? Because that's what people do. They made it the norm these days to shoot on the first of the year or the New Year's Eve, and then shoot on July 4th. And fireworks sound like gunshots, and gunshots sound like fireworks. So now you can't tell the difference. Why not make a big boom by blowing something up?
Yeah, which is why it do seem a little weird, because it literally was the same day. I mean, I feel with
But
that,
I
yeah,
guess
that
that's,
might have
yeah.
that might have been a little bit of a message, because it was a Cybertruck. They saying because it's Elon and Musk and whatever, possibly, which to me was crazy. Like, and then when you look at the backstory of what they pushing, so
Mm-hmm.
reportedly the dude with the Cybertruck rented the Cybertruck. He went to a fuel station. He charged it up, but he had just got into an argument with his wife, and she was leaving him because she said he was cheating. And then allegedly he had texted his ex-girlfriend saying, I got this Cybertruck. I feel like I'm Batman and all that. So this is why I'm saying,
It's
like, we have to
crazy.
look at certain stuff like this. And this was what wasn't he military, if I'm not mistaken? Military vet. So
Probably so. I
Yes.
ain't look too deep
yeah,
into it
the
like that.
Yes,
Cybertruck
he was
guy.
a yeah, he was a military vet. And
Green
he
Beret.
he unalived himself after he before he blew up the the
Yeah,
truck and stuff. So
he
This
was a
is
Green
why we
Beret.
do it. Now, yep, they both served. She actually right. They did both serve. And I have forgot about the other guy served. He was he was an immigrant, but he did serve in the military as well. They actually got body footage and stuff that just came out, I think today or yesterday, of interactions
Mm.
with him. So I mean, like I said, we see something stirring up. Something is stirring up. The question is what?
Gotta
What's
stay
going on?
strapped. Stay strapped to
Hey,
get clapped.
but you best believe once we find out, we bring him in here to the podcast. We gonna let our people
See,
know.
bang bang.
So,
Man, gotta stay with the 9 all the time.
hey, you really got him today, Israel, for sure.
got him.
You
Yeah, yeah.
got all the raps today, y'all.
Look, there's all this crazy stuff happening. You got inauguration coming up on the 20th. Why not do crazy stuff in
Which is the
January?
same day as Martin Luther King Day, so we already know
Which is
something happened.
crazy. That's
We
already
already
crazy.
know inauguration and Martin Luther King Day at the same time.
Let me see. 2 weeks from the day. On a
Yeah,
Monday.
it's gonna be crazy.
I think I'm gonna be off that day. I'm gonna just call off that day. Yeah. I'm gonna put my time, my PTO. I'm gonna put it in after this. Yeah. I'm gonna just put it in. Cause who don't want a Monday off?
But Empress Sierra, I had kind of mentioned that a little bit of like why that day. They're trying to compare it to September 11th. They saying like 9/11, and like how we saying this is a 9-year, and then on the first of the month, on the first day, it's also another 9/11. And then the guy who blew up the Tesla truck, they're trying to say that this is a wake up call. I believe that they're trying to sound alarms. That's what I believe that they're trying to do. They're trying to. Now I don't know about why the New Orleans thing. Like I said, they say because of the year of 25, French quarter, a quarter is 25. So I mean, all of these things could be the reason of why they wanted to particularly do this on the first of the year. But what we have learned for the past couple of years is that they really get stuff started in July. I mean in January.
First
Oh yeah.
quarter.
They get a lot of stuff started to get people's attention. Be like, yeah, this how this year for to start off.
Oh yeah.
That's how we knew
My bad.
last year was
I just
the
had
year
to
of
put my
exposure.
PTO in. So I'm
We
gonna be
we
off.
knew we knew last year was gonna be the year of exposing because what happened. That's why I'm like it don't even be them sometimes. We all floating on this big old planet. When Cat Williams came out last year and showed out, and when he showed out like that, we knew, oh, the veil is about to come off.
No, yeah, I might
And
go
then all we
rewatch
saw
this.
was month after month, we finding this out, we finding this out, we finding this out about this celebrity, we finding this out about this governor. It's just, yeah, hey, that's
When did
why I
that
say you
interview
gotta.
come out? Was it September or
That was in
October?
January. When did it was in January or February? I know it was in the beginning of
Really?
the
It
year.
was that
It was
early in the year?
January, bro. It was
January.
Oh, it
January.
wasn't that long, was it?
Yeah, it was
Yes, but
January.
hey, time. You see how I don't even feel like time going by?
Let me
This
see.
what we
What
saying,
was
y'all.
I'm talking about, man? Let me
Time.
see.
They look. You can say what you want to say now. Everything that used to be a conspiracy ain't a conspiracy no more because the facts are starting to come
Dang,
out.
that was a year ago. That's crazy.
They got time flying right now. Everybody like,
Dang.
dang, what?
Well, we speaking about time, fellas. It is time for I say my favorite segment because I love the audience participation, and
Yes.
it is Ask the
The
Pharaohs time. So,
Pharaohs. Questions,
people
y'all.
who are watching right now, we have people who are viewing. If you guys want to ask us a question right now, we can answer it on the podcast. Just put it in the comment section. This is Ask the Pharaohs. So any question you want to ask, it could be about anything, love, relationships, the topics that we just talked about today, any of the things that you guys want to know, just ask the Pharaohs. This is the time for it. Fellas, until we probably get somebody who wants to ask us something live, I do have a question, and this question comes from Samira, one of the friends of the podcast, one of the subscribers. And her question is, fellas, why do men want to step up at the last minute when a relationship is ending and everything is said and done?
Go ahead, take it away,
Oh yeah,
Luke.
that's actually a good one. It's a logical thing. So men, we when it comes to our thoughts and stuff, usually in relationships, we take things very seriously when it's like right in our face, because there are usually other things that are going on in life, period. So it is a pattern, and I wouldn't say that she's wrong. I am myself am guilty of that, because you don't really take it that seriously until it's like right there. You're like, I didn't really mean no harm, but now I see, you willing to leave, or now I see you talk, you upset, so now I want to make it better. It comes with a side effect that we have, but it's very beneficial to the world. We don't dwell on things too long. That's why we're able to kind of do things like jobs that are kind of weird, or people would say is nasty, or people would say I could never do that. Like, a lot of times men do it because we don't dwell on it too long. It's not in our nature to do that. This is why there is a necessary balance in the relationship. The woman in the relationship is supposed to help us see the other side. That's not really that instant to it. So I wouldn't get upset when you're dealing with a man that does that. Actually, that shows he actually cares. Now, he don't care when you didn't put it in his face and he's still the same way. But when you see him like, oh my bad, baby, I didn't even know that I was doing it like that. No, I'm taking you seriously. He does take it seriously. It's just, unfortunately, that's how we are. It comes with the nature of relationships. So we most of the time require patience in that area of putting things in front of us, and then it looks like, oh dang, now he trying to save it. Now that I'm mad, he want to save it. Yeah, because as a man, you being mad, it actually triggers something. He don't see it before you mad. We really don't. We don't see it before you upset. We thinking everything fine. But once you upset, it lets us know, oh, everything's not fine. So I wouldn't look at that as even something negative. It's a part of what makes us coming together such a useful factor. Because if we got somebody in our life that's able to say, hey, baby, that ain't right. And usually the women that win the most are the ones that know how to approach and still build their man ego up even when he wrong. Now, them women, they powerful, because they'll be able to get their way, and then they man, he actually feels good about their way. He's able to say, I see what you're saying. I never thought about it that way. You're not taking anything from him. You actually build into him. It takes time to get there. But them is what you get them 30, 40, 50-year marriages from. The women that be like, nah, I don't argue with him. I know how to talk to him. He gonna see it my way. But I just got to know how to approach him, because as men, we require you to build our ego up in relationships. So when he gets to freaking out that you mad, don't look at that as something wrong. It's supposed to be that way. That's my take on it.
Man, I think it'd be the last minute, because sometimes that's like when it hit us. And in my perspective, I feel like we be needing those that coming to Jesus conversation, right? Where it's like, yo, we need to lock in on this conversation, because this is it right here. This is where it's like, yo, we didn't went left, you went left, I went left. This is the coming to Jesus moment where we got to lock in and really lay down what's going on, what's happening, so we can go from here and to the next step. But if we don't do that, have that coming to Jesus conversation, the last minute be too late. Where it's like, all right, you done moved out, I done moved out. Then I'm like, man, now I'm thinking like, man, I should have just stayed or waited to this, that, to that. But we ain't had that coming to Jesus conversation, because we was so busy on trying to get done what we wanted done, and not trying to hear the other person out, or you hear me out, I hear you out, and then we hear each other and we come up with a solution to the next thing. But if it ain't no solution and we just bucking heads, then that's what it's gonna be. Got to keep it moving. But yeah, that's what I think about that. What you think about that, Solomon?
So I'm gonna ask the question back. and I know you're not supposed to ask a question with a question, but I'm going to ask, when was this last minute? Because did we have a conversation before it got to your so-called last minute? Are you expressing yourself enough to your partner in a real positive communication and not an argument, right? Are we talking to each other in a way that I can understand what you need and what you want changed? Because there are sometimes women are can't really express themselves correctly, and then they be like, oh, why as soon as the last minute you want to make changes and all this other stuff? Well, did you talk to me in a way that I can understand you before you went on a tangent, or did you go on a tangent at all and just had a whole hissy fit or a tantrum like you were a child? Was the communication there for me to understand so it wouldn't be a last minute thing? Now, if you're saying that was communicated already, then hey, I'm gonna have to raise my hand and agree with my brother. Sometimes that last minute is because we didn't get that aha moment. We didn't get that come to Jesus moment and be like, you know what? I'm sorry, baby. I should have did better. I should have heard you the first time you communicated this to me. But there's a lot of things that happens in our minds and in our day to day that sometimes we can't hear you until you sit us down properly and be like, can I express myself to you of how I feel and how I think this relationship is going? I also believe that people need to do relationship update checks, like how they have progress reports
Temperature
in school.
checks. That's
Yeah,
what I
you
call
got
them. Temperature checks.
you need to actually sit down
Yeah.
with your significant other from time to time and get an update of how things are going. Grade the performance. That we don't do that together like we're supposed to. Grade each other's performance and say, hey, this going on and this is that going on. I kind of feel this type of way about X, Y, and Z. Is there any type of way that I can change it or we can change this together? Effective communication can make your relationship last a very long time. Compromises and understanding. But like I say, if you're going to do that, don't say, hey, you just did it at the last minute. Because if you ain't communicated to me well enough the first time, how did we get to the last minute already? All right, there's another question, live question. Israel, yo, homie on here asking questions.
Which
She
homie?
said, Calandria says, do you think society expects too much from men today?
That's a good
Mm.
question.
Who want to start this off?
Go
Israel
ahead,
start this
Luke.
one.
All right,
Look
let's see.
at us both trying to pass the buck.
Right. Do you think society, oh man, expects too much of men today? I don't know. I think sometimes depend on where you're coming from. Some people have unrealistic expectations, right? Because, you get what society thinks that a man should do, but then what a man can really do based off his ability, depending on his job and his life situation, you know. But I don't know. At this point, it's like the man just got to expect more of himself. You got to get yourself right for everybody else. Like a great man once said, in order to better the world, we must first better ourselves. Who's that, Biggie? Yeah.
Well,
But
I think
yeah,
it was
that's what I think of that.
yeah, I think it was a great question. Shout out to you for being here with us too. Taking time out. Like I said, we love our subscribers. We love y'all over here. So I would have to. Hmm, it's a tricky question that you asked because as a man, I want to say no. As a man, I want to say society can never ask for too much. We know our role. We know what we're supposed to do. However, it is a legitimate question and a concern that you're bringing up because this has been the topic now for some years on relationships when it comes to men and women, and if there is being an unrealistic expectation as men. Meaning, is it he does what he's supposed to do, he protects, he provides, he loves, but the moment he don't understand me, that's it. Now that has been a topic of conversation, and this goes back to the last question. With men, it's a beauty in the way we're designed because it coexists with the women. I always love relationships that where there is an understanding, and you can usually see it with the relationship when there's an understanding on when they step out, who's making the decisions, how are they moving. You can see it from how couples interact with one another. So society has now made it to where it's almost like it's a perfect thing. You have to make $100,000, have a six pack. Yeah, it is like that now. But I don't look at that as a thing of wrong because as a man, we're not supposed to get scared of stuff like that. If anything, I accept your challenge. I know it don't take all that to find a great woman. There are plenty of women out there that love you, but you have to be careful as a man when we analyze this because we don't want to make excuses for us of not being great, not taking care of ourselves healthy, not striving to the potential of the greatest of what we can be. But as men, we're not supposed to measure it off of the woman's expectation. It's supposed to, like Israel say, it started with self. From what we naturally want, is going to always be enough because we, as men, we want to survive. We want to live. If we have a family, we want to provide. A lot of the mental illness, most suicides are done by men, and usually the suicides are done by men because they're dealing in a financial situation. And then when you really narrow it down, it's because they can't take care of the people who they made and the woman that they promised they can take care of. So it is real to us. It's so real to us that some men will take their life just to give policies to their family. Y'all don't understand. So when she say society, yes, society is being a little rough because at the end of the day, we willing to die if it means to take care of ours. We've always been like that. We willing to go to war. Somebody come knocking at the door, all the fear go out. And I'll leave this with you before I turn it over. When I was a young man, I love your question. It's so crazy how you bringing awareness to something for real. When I was a young man, my biggest fear in life was becoming a father and becoming the man for real, because I'm like, man, what if one day somebody at my door? Like I used to always think that, like, man, I'm gonna have to. I'm 7 or 8 at the time, so it's something that we naturally begin to think about because we learn to protect. We got sisters, we got nieces, we got people who we love. So sometimes it is good when the women come with an understanding more than a judgment. Because when they like, hey, we understand it's rough out here for y'all. We here, we support y'all, but this is what we need from you all. It changes the whole conversation. Because you still gonna tell us what you need. But this goes into feeding the ego. When you hit us with the look, we know it's tough out here. We know they on y'all back. We got y'all back. But this is where we need you all to move better as men, because this is what we trying to accomplish as a relationship, as a couple, as a family. You feeding his ego, you breaking down the wall that society had. Because when he walked through the door, it ain't no society no more. Society always gonna be rough. But when he walked through that door, it don't even matter. You working with him. So I think you brought up a great question. That's my long answer to that question. Yeah, we're gonna end up doing a whole episode. We got to do another relationship episode, bro. Like we're gonna have to do it for the people.
Good questions. Great questions.
It is. These definitely some good questions. I do believe that, especially today, society expects too much from men because now you have to be Superman. And I believe that is from the misconception of the black woman being the superwoman of the world. And because of the single mothers raising all of these children, them still working a 9 to 5, them trying to make it to all of the parent teacher conferences, them still trying to instill what your morals and understanding is all at the same time. So now I believe because of what the government also helped create, which is broken families and broken homes of the black community, they're looking now to the black man to be the Superman to now save the black woman from what has happened to her. So now I believe that we're switching from what, okay, these women had to be super women, super women and super moms, to now society wants the black men to be super men and super dads. So that means having a income of over $100,000, making sure that they're able to take care of their family and stay there, not only working a 9 to 5, but making sure they're coming home and being a present dad that we talked about many episodes ago on this podcast. Also making the parent teacher conferences, also making sure that the family is protected and healthy. All of these things that's supposed to have been happening, but now it's under a microscope because of what has happened before, years before. So I do think that the expectations may be at a level that might not be realistic at times, but it's almost like you have to be a superman in today's society just for the respect of either your opposite gender, your sex, the opposite sex, or the world as we view it all together. I don't know if I went too far left with that question or not, but that's kind of my answer to that.
No, I think you hit it right on the head. You broke the psychology down of it. You made me think about something even in my own life. I got two daughters, and a lot of times people around me say, man, you always got them with you, man, it's just, you got help. I know I got help, but watch how psychology works. I saw what my mother went through with trying to raise me. So I feel indebted to my daughters because of the issues that I have with my father. It's actually real, y'all. I feel as if I gotta be 10 times as harder because I know what it's like not to have no, not to have them there for this, not to be able to, like, I know that. So I feel like, if it really does that to you at the end of the day, this psychology that they did generationally, because that's not even our generation. That's our fathers. That was when that real broken family thing started coming up. We are the products of it. But now we are starting to have children. We starting to, date and look around. So we see the trauma within the dating world. We see the trauma within relationships from what we've been from what they were dealing with. So even in my own personal life, I have to agree with you, Solomon. I think if someone was to run an analysis, excuse me, on if that's an actual real thing that society is psychologically dealing with, I would be one of the people in the experiment who would have to raise my hand and say, I actually feel like that sometimes. When I'm with I'm putting 10 times in, not because I'm less, but because I'm trying to get what I didn't get. So it makes it feel like I gotta be there. I need a break, but I gotta do it. It actually stirs something up that makes me want to be a greater man, which is why I feel like we didn't went through the hard times period as men. The hard times then created a new generation of men to where we getting it regardless of what you or anybody say. We did not had it long enough. We didn't grow up poor long enough. We didn't grow up watching our mothers trying to survive long enough. We can go through the analysis on why it happened all day long. But at the end of the day, as young men, black men at that, we trying to get the paper so that we can kill the curse. But I got to attest to the analysis that you brought up, Solomon, especially in the beginning of what you said. I deal with that on a daily basis, feeling like, hey, I didn't have it. I watched my mama struggle. So, man, let me not put my daughters through what I went through, which is a psychological issue. Let's be real now. That comes from trauma. That comes from, having situations to where I needed a father and I didn't have it. So as a father, you want to do better. That's just how you're going to naturally move. That's why I say I feel like greater days ahead because we didn't went through a lot, but we trying to change it.
Well, Israel, did you want to say anything to that? Or
That's what's up. No, I spoke first on it.
okay.
I just
But
piggyback.
yeah. That was a good breakdown though, for sure.
All right. Well,
What-
family, we kind of went a little over because we trying to do this. We experiment with the time right now. But we got live people. We got people that came and hung out
Yeah.
with us all episode. We
Greatly
appreciate the
appreciate it.
subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all share. You know,
The Pharaohs Podcast
tell
Army.
somebody.
We gonna get some merch for y'all soon, so y'all can start letting everybody know where to come to. Pharaohs Podcast Army. We working on it, y'all. We working on it.
For sure. We definitely growing. Bigger and better things this year, 2025. Um, I was gonna ask about the Travis Hunter thing from last week. Remember, I was gonna say, should he basically break up with his fiance or call it off because she doesn't seem like she's that interested in him. Look like she's more interested in his career.
I think he needs to come into Jesus conversation. That's what he needs. That's what he need. Cause otherwise he gonna be calling Jesus when he ain't got the money he should have had.
Man,
Boy,
that's a
boy,
good
drop
one
it.
right
If
there,
I had a
Israel.
mic, I'd drop it, boy. If
That's
I had
a good one right there, Israel. Man, he better have a come to Jesus moment before he have to call on Jesus.
I'm trying to tell you, boy. I'm trying to tell you.
Ooh. Well, family, thank you for tuning in with us for episode 33 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. And you can find me, of course, on Facebook at Cornelius Solomon Walker. You can find me on Instagram at CJ Walker 103. And if you want to get your book published by King and Empress Publishing, LLC, you can email me at cwalker1582@gmail.com. Israel, where can people find you?
Yo, what's good? Y'all can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast. You can find me on my website. You can find me on my email, johnatl61@gmail.com. And you can find me on my website, jonathanjohnson621.com. Yeah, that's my website. So yeah, you can find me on my website. It's back up. Got my books and some merch on there. Check it out. Make copies, make orders. I got my copy here, one of my books, 621 money tips, and then you got relationship tips. What is that? Boom, perfect timing for Valentine's Day. It's still boo bay season. Then I got love poems for the streets.
Boo bay season.
All right. Love poems for the streets. Get some poems. And yeah, that's where you can find me at. You got the website on there? You put the website up?
At Gmail. This one?
No. The my personal one. JonathanJohnson621.com. That's the email. Oh, that's the Gmail.
Yeah, that's the Gmail. We don't have to get it next time for the people.
Yeah, website.
Right. Well, Luke, where can people find you, and how's everything going on with the Love Lifted Me Foundation?
I'm so happy you asked. Yes, sir. I do got some announcements for that. You can find me at Luke733lead9@gmail.com. And yeah, definitely the foundation got some big stuff coming up this year. It's actually freezing outside right now. So the first thing came to my mind was it's some hot food time. So I'm putting together, a little plan to get ready to get out there. It's going to be one of these weekends in January. And if it's not this weekend, I'll announce it next month, or maybe even just not next month, next week, or maybe just make a quick clip and post it when we're going to be out trying to get some hot food out to people, some free hot food. But I want to do it a little different. Real quick, I've been blessed. Last year was a blessing, and I got some opportunities and some ways to get some food to some people. So this year I really want to try to go and try to find those camps, try to grab some of the men. Shout out to the mop. You feel me? We call them mop. I'm gonna start calling them mop, the men of the Pharaoh. Get some of my brothers, go out there, put some of that food in the back of my car, and really go out there and serve. Like, it's one thing for them to keep coming where we at. We on 625 West 103rd Street, 11:30, 3:30 every Sunday. Yeah, we over there. But this year I really want to try to take the blessings that I've been given, even when it's just coming to meeting the people where they at. So that's one of my big things in this winter season. It's cold out there, so I got some food stocked up, ready to cook some hot food for them, and I want to bring it to them, bring it to the people in Chicago, the homeless, definitely the homeless. They out there cold. So you can find me if you want to collab. If you got some donations, if you just looking to find a way you can help out over at the Love Lifting Me Foundation, definitely hit me up at Luke733 leader number 9 at gmail.com, and we'll exchange contacts, and I'll definitely let you know what you can do to help us out.
Is Israel's website for his books.
Hey.
My books, y'all can get all my books on Amazon. Just look me up.
Amazon.
You can always email us, reach us at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. We have went over 100 subscribers. The contest that we're having right now, family, email us your favorite part or favorite episode, whichever one it is, of the Pharaohs Podcast, right? You automatically are put into a random drawing of 3 people. Three days. Three people. Okay. Out of those 3 people, we'll get a book of their choosing from me and a book of your choosing from Israel. Okay.
Signed copies.
All right. So email us at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. We will pick 3 winners. They will be announced on the show, and we will send out a copy, 2 signed copies of whichever book you would like to receive from us.
Love poems for the streets.
And family, the Pharaohs Podcast is on Spotify. So if you're not able to see our handsome faces and aren't able to reach us live on Mondays, every Tuesday, the Pharaohs Podcast is on Spotify. All right, fellas. Anything else before we get up out of here?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Come see us next Monday.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.